How I would start virtually wholesaling real estate absolutely from scratch, getting started in 2025. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here.
Rick in here.
And in today's live stream, we are here to answer the question, how do I start virtually wholesaling real estate absolutely from scratch? How do I actually start making money in virtual wholesaling? And I get a lot of people asking me, it's like, Zach, how do I get started virtual wholesaling? What do I do? How do we do it right? Now, I talked about it a lot last week when I was in California, right? So I did one last week in San Diego where I was basically just saying like, hey, this is how anyone can make money virtually wholesaling and what I'm specifically doing. Now, what I want to do is I really want to talk about how to make money from scratch here because I kind of gave everyone a game plan, but it's like, what can I do with no money? How do I get started? And I get asked this question a lot. Now, if I want to make this a 1-minute live stream, I'll say freeholstein.com, boom, and we're done. Let me just shut it all down, right? But a lot of people still, they want to hear a little more. They want to hear some more updated things, and they want to hear specifically, some extra information about virtual wholesaling. Now, virtual wholesaling is not a complicated process. I kind of went a little crazy last week on scripts, markets, things like that. It's going to be more of an implementation of how beginners can just start making a ton of money here. Now, the thing about virtual wholesaling is you can obviously do it anywhere. It's better to do it from home. But all you have is an internet connection. You start making a stupid amount of money. And the funniest part about virtual wholesaling real estate is this business is set up so easy for you that if you just have a small game plan, like I can talk to you for 5 minutes, I get you money. And we're going to talk about today really how to make 50 grand your first month. Because I think 100 grand is really where you kind of get that FU money, where it's just like, hey, I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, wherever I want. But the issue with most people is getting that first 50 grand. And we're not here to play small ball. We're here to play big boy stuff, okay? We're not here to make 50 grand in a year. We're here to make 50 grand in a month. Scratch that. We're going to make 50 grand on one wholesaling deal. That's what's the juicy part. That's what everyone wants to know. And I mean, obviously, lowballing works the best on this, but we're going to break this down and we're going to share it. So let's kind of get into 10 steps on this to make it really easy. So again, tell everyone, right? If I had to start wholesaling real estate absolutely from scratch again, virtually, right? I got no money, no skills, none of these things. It's like, what's the best way to do it? Now, I'm going to get the most obvious one out there. Of course, we have a community. Of course, we have a course. freeholstein.com. I think everyone knows that one, right? It's pretty dang obvious, right? Go to freeholstein.com. But what I do here is I would first get my contracts, get my scripts, and kind of learn more or less how to get started in this business. Now, because I get a lot of people DMing me on Instagram, TikTok too. It's like, Zach, how to get started? I live in Lithuania. I was a live stream for it. This is the reason we're doing it, right? So Again, if you have questions, I am going to answer all the questions live, as many as I can today, and really share with you what you got to do. See any questions, we're going to go forward here, right? Try to make this as interactive as possible because I get tens of thousands of new people who kind of get started in wholesaling real estate every single month from our following. And they're like, how do I start? Well, first and foremost, you got to go to freeholstein.com, but really start using the contracts and scripts. I think one of the worst things most people in virtual wholesaling get is they'll go out here and they'll use this 15 page script with their motivated seller on a virtual wholesale deal. And you absolutely destroy yourself on this, right?
Yep. It's
terrible.
Yeah. Listen, it's okay to start out with scripts, but at some point you're going to have to find a way to connect with people. Rick, like what's the difference between scripts and connecting with people? Think about when you have conversations with your friends, some family, it's easy. And that's what it needs to be like. But it does take practice and repetition because you have to have an agenda to get through. And it's okay to start out with scripts. That's why I like acronyms, because my brain can identify the first letter of anything. So MCTP, ODN, stuff like that. I'm ADHD. That's how I learned. But like, take the advice from it. You've got to know what the points to get through. And if you want to know if you're actually connecting with people, is it an easy flowing conversation or is it like the most painful conversation in life? Remember, the burden's on you, not them. We have to identify it. So understanding the difference between transitioning from scripts to conversation. A script is just the playbook. The conversation is the connection. If you put those two together, you can do amazing things in wholesaling to easily get a $50,000 deal.
the thing is, the script's going to be the thing. And so you want to make 50 grand, that first deal. It's all about knowing how to bring a seller down from maybe 300K to 250. And a lot of people, they're at 300. They don't ever want to bring them to 280, they try to get 290 and make their 10 grand. What you want to try to do is get such a low offer that nobody else, like literally nobody else would make a stupid offer like that except for you. And you do it the right way, right? Good cop, bad cop, dollar first method, right? Price first, volley. You really get the volley right. There's all these different types of scripts, right? As long as it's an ODN, you're right, off market, direct to seller needs to sell, you're going to be able to make a lot of money in this business. And more specifically, when it comes to your contracts and your scripts, if you know how to use the script for yourself, where you actually sound natural like yourself, you're good to go. My biggest question I get a lot from new wholesalers is like, Zach, how do I sound natural over the phones, right? The whole live stream on the Zach Ginn channel on Sunday about this. But like the worst possible thing you can get from a seller is the dreaded maybe. And so many wholesalers get that, right? They'll call the seller and they're like, oh, what price do you want? They say 130. And then you say, well, can you do 100? And then they say, maybe I'll think about it. And then the wholesaler says, oh, I did my best there. What am I going to do? And then they're done. They got me. It's the worst possible thing. And it's something that is 100% avoidable. You can avoid that dreaded maybe if you know how to condition sellers and you know the scripts we have to say. But so many people get that maybe. And I said the story on Sunday, but it's just like, you only do this a couple of times where you drive out like 2 hours to an appointment and you go there and the seller says they want to be 300. You're like, well, I can't do 300, but let me still go out and see it. You offer 260. Maybe say you offer 290. You're a nice guy. And the guy says, I'll think about it. And then you're like, wait, this is a genius acquisitions move. Why do you have to think about it? And then you know what they always say? Stop pressuring me. And you say, okay, sorry. And then you drive back 2 hours with your little clown makeup on because you're being a clown. Because you just drove 4 hours for a maybe that you could have virtually done over the phone. But if you condition the seller, here's how the conversation would have worked. Hey, Michelle, about to go to the house, right? And just wanted to make sure before, I talked to you and saw you, are you ready to make a yes or no decision on selling the house? So I don't waste your time or my time. No, you're not. Your wife needs to come home before you make a decision. Perfect. Well, let me know a time that works for you guys. Or they say, yes, I'm ready to make a decision. Walk in the house, 2 hours, drive 2 hours. And then you say, can you do 270? And they're like, maybe. And then you hit them with a, whoa, hey, John, like, I'm a man of my word. Are you a man of your word? And everyone has an ego. I'm a man of my word. Everyone's got these crazy egos, especially dudes. Well, I give you my word that I was ready to make a decision. I wasn't want to waste my time or your time. You said you're a man of word and you said you were ready to make a decision today. So maybe it's not a decision. I did say that, didn't I? Okay, let's do it. I'm telling you, that's how most of it goes. Or they just go to a no, which is better than a maybe, because then you can follow up from their encounter from there. Why is it a no? And then you go through that process, right?
Yeah, it's just about framing stuff and putting conditions and taking advantage of people when you have a one-on-one situation and they give you their word. It's very hard to back out of it. The reason why me and Zach show you how to do it is so you don't sit in the friend zone forever, which was my first year and a half of wholesaling. I really struggled to get people to make decisions. So I did a lot of volume. And remember, the volume was to help me make it up. But after a while, I go, I got to stop doing this. So the framing works. By the way, it works in everything you do in your life, including, when you talk to your parents or your significant other to go to dinner, like you can frame it.
Yeah.
If not, if people have an endless time to make a decision, the easiest default is not making a decision at all. And honestly, that is the worst outcome you can get in wholesaling. Sure. So remember, you want to dude, you're talking to an old school guy that didn't start out virtual wholesaling. I can't tell you how advantageous it is. I didn't think you could do it out of town. I thought everything was local. Didn't have nearly the technology you have now. But like, remember, you're saving yourself driving, maybe 3 hours each way, an hour there, and you're saving an entire day. And by the way, you can line up 10, 15, 20 qualified leads and do this, which would take me an entire day to do this. And some of you don't appreciate what you have. It's extremely efficient. If cold calling's, we already know, is the most efficient way to go through the most amount of leads, why wouldn't virtual wholesaling be any different? Take advantage of it, but you're going to have to understand you have to do the framing, because when it comes down to decision time, selling your house is one of the biggest decisions people will ever make in their life. So if you're just hoping for a yes, no, you're going to be stuck in the maybe, I need to think about it, the deferral, and you have no counter argument, you have no defense, and you go, okay, when can I call you back? Because they're never going to make a decision. I rather you just get a flat out no than let me think about it to maybe. Now, it's okay. You're still going to get some of that, but you cut out a lot of the crap. Listen, it works. There's a reason I teach you how to do it, because it works. So remember, virtual wholesaling is amazing. Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Like, I would go an entire day, drive up to North Florida, meet with someone, only get kicked to the curb to come back and go, listen, I could have dealt with 20, 25 people. I wasted my time. So if cold calling is super efficient, why do you think virtual wholesaling wouldn't be any different? I've changed my mentality. I just didn't know any other way. And honestly, Zach helped me see the light on it. And I just want you guys to understand, you have the opportunity of virtual wholesaling. It's amazing. Make sure you do the framework for it.
Well, that's the thing about virtual, right? I mean, there's only one thing that got you on board in virtual. That's literally only one thing, is you just make more money. That's pretty much it.
That's it.
And it's a simple business concept of, if you can just do more inputs, you get more outputs. So for example, our market, if I pull a high equity list, let's say every single lead that has 60% equity or more.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what, 30, 40,000?
Mm-hmm.
If I did that in 7 markets, I can get $500,000. And it's like you kind of run out. And there is diminishing returns, especially when it comes to calling that $60,000 list, then texting them, then, reverse trying for dollars, a lot of those leads, and then pulling all it's like, it'd actually be more efficient to call 5 different markets than to call, text, email blast 1 market, because, there's overlap. And so virtual wholesaling, you can make a lot more money on that. What I tell everyone on here, though, is you got to pick a good market, though, too. It's all about the market, too, to a point. So let's kind of talk about markets, too. Now, what I'd also say is I'd pull my free lists. Obviously, everyone knows at freewholesaling.com, I have free government lists I give to the people absolutely for free. And they're in the virtual wholesaling section and in the marketing section. Probates, pre-foreclosures, code violations, fire damage properties. You can actually pull them anywhere in the country virtually for free. I have a free government list. Never really ever wanted to do that. I was actually going to throw them all into X leads, but legally I cannot sell government lists. It is very, very, very illegal, and it breaks a lot of laws. And I'm not going to say I'm going to whistleblow on anyone, but it's if softwares try to sell government lists, you got to be very, very careful, unless it's from a specific data provider. A lot of these corporations, they don't do it because there's all these disclosures. Like, for example, some of these probate lists in Missouri, it's like I actually had to physically tell the person, or you have to physically click a button that says, I agree never to sell this data.
Yeah. And all the
Very
people,
scary.
all the people that sell the probate data, all the government lists, they're the ones that make it so difficult for everybody. Like,
because they don't want you to sell it. They don't mind you getting it.
They're not. Yeah. They're just reselling it. And the biggest thing government has a fear of is taking that information, making money off the government's back. And then they're going to put up all these barriers to entry. So listen, there's a reason why you have to go through all these barriers to get it. But honestly, if you get it directly, you get the best list, you get the most updated information. I would never, I don't know, at least in probates, I would never trust a third party, because I've tried every one. From an efficiency standpoint, it makes perfect sense. But when you pay thousands of dollars and you get zero deals, take the hint. Like, this information's way outdated. They're just milling through it. And honestly, if you're going to buy a lead, you have to get a value in return. You got to get a return on investment. Yeah. Nobody to date ever showed me any probate lead source that actually, if it did, I would share it with everybody, because I love probate. You know that. But I've tried it. I've gotten all you guys' feedbacks. And to this day, it's still problematic. The only and best way to get probate leads is directly from the courthouse. If you have access to online or you go in person, remember, the harder it is, the more advantageous it is for you, the wholesaler.
But in freewholesaling.com, we show you the link to go to the courthouse.
Yeah.
Like literally where to do it, right?
Yeah.
So that was my biggest question. Where do I pull probate to my county? Right there. Done. I would go to X Leads though, and I would get 1,000 free skips there.
Definitely.
I know a lot of people, they go to like free like websites to get like free real estate data, and then they go to X Leads and skip trace it on there.
Yeah.
You're good. I mean, whatever you want to do. A lot of people go to like the code enforcement, code violations there, and then they put in X Leads, get 1,000 free skips. I'll tell everyone I would definitely use 1,000 free skips. That's just personally me. That's what I do. But kind of getting a little more heated right now. Now we're starting to get some traction. What I want everyone to do here is this very contrary to some advice you hear from me, but I think this is a really good method too, is go to zachdiscord.com, right? That's the largest wholesaling Discord in the country, the most engaged. You can also go to Wholesaling Houses for Real. That is also my Facebook group. Got almost 150,000 people in there. Again, largest wholesaling Facebook group out there, most engaged. And the most important part about that is you just got to make 5 connections per day. You can even do it in the live streams right here, right? That's why everyone hangs out in the live stream, right? A lot of these people, in the live streams, you're making $20,000, $30,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to hear Zach's, talk about virtual wholesaling. They're already doing it, right?
Yep.
They're already making 50 grand a month. But the main reason they're here is connect with the other people here. So a lot of people go to events not for the information, but for the people around it. And you're just literally in a free room of, hundreds and hundreds of people learning and to get rich and successful in wholesaling. It's like you're in a room with people who are already doing success and already making money. So I think everyone should do at least 5 connections. I think Zach Discord is probably the most engaged one out of all of them. Like, it's actually crazy. There's a lot of young people on there. So if you're a young man or woman, I'd probably go to zachdiscord.com for the connections there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a little older, Facebook group's great. Live streams is, I think, the best mix of everyone. Unfortunately, we are live on 4 YouTube channels, and we are live on TikTok. We're live on Facebook. We're live everywhere. So it gets a little more difficult. I'll tell you, most people watch this on the Flip with Rick YouTube channel.
Yep.
We got a ton of people watching on the Zach Ginn, Rick Ginn channels, right? But yeah, there's a lot of ways we live stream all the platforms. But the thing about it is I want you to make 5 connections per day. I think that's probably the most important thing you can do. The point of it is you're going to find a ton of people in zachdiscord.com who are making 50 to 100 grand a year. Now, what I want you to do, I know this sounds crazy. This is crazy advice, but it's like, if you're talking to, what's 5 times 30, 150, right? If you're talking to 150 wholesalers, you're going to find 6 or 7 of them who are making 100 grand a year virtually wholesaling or locally wholesaling. What I want you to do here is just talk to them. Seriously. Like, one thing I'll tell you is like, hey, like, what market are you in? Like, I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm making a ton of money.
Hey guys,
Roger that. I'm going to go do Kansas City.
A little secret. When I started out wholesaling, some of the best information I got were from people that just got started, were having success. Because listen, you can listen to Zach, Rick, you can listen to anybody. Doesn't matter, paid free. There's something about someone who just got started. Most of those people actually want to help you out, and they're so inspiring.
Oh yeah,
on like what they do, because a lot of you start out go like, okay, it worked when you started. Listen, what we do works today. Everything we teach you, but seeing other people go through the program, go through freewholesaling.com, using X Lead, stuff like that, there's something about it that it's something you can't even pay for.
No.
And also those people that you reach out to, like, they're actually willing to work with you. Like, they don't even, this is how I learned how to do a mastermind. Guys, if you paid for a mastermind, I'm just telling you, masterminds were designed from people who shared information. And you're thinking like, what do I have to share with someone who's being successful in wholesaling? You'd be surprised how much you can help people out. Always start out with a value proposition. How can I help you out? Don't be the person that taxes them, and say, listen, how can I help you get a deal? I'll go through any list. If you could give me like 1,000 skip trays, I will rip through the 1,000. I'll give you the results on it. And if we get a deal, we'll partner up on you. But reach out to these people. They're inspiring. And most of all, you got to understand, they actually want to share their story and share the information. And that's the best time to get a hold of them.
I agree. I think if you could just find 5 people making 100 grand a year in a month, that's 500 grand a year combined if there's knowledge. It's like, they will give the information. They're not here to sell you a program. They're not here to sell you a course. I mean, some maybe. If they are, please just talk about them in the Discord and we'll get them out. But it's like, some people do that. It's so stupid. But like, just like, hey, what do you do? They will tell you. And then guess what? You could start working with them. We're a very collaborative community here, and we're here to work with everyone, right? And number seven, you get to work. Now, there's a lot opposite from my advice last week, or you see sometimes in freewholesaling.com where it's like, okay, do this, 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 and this. Some people need that, and some people just need something way more simple. This is the simplest way to start virtually wholesaling from scratch. This is literally what I would do, right? What I'm telling you to do is a little different than what I would do because the way I do things is slightly different, obviously. But the thing is, I would just get to work. And this is kind of the most dummy-proof way to just start out. But it's like if you are making $100,000 virtually wholesaling in Kansas City, I'm just going to do exactly what you do. Simple. And then maybe you can add some new strategies we have in freewholesaling.com, right? But like if you just use somebody's method of success in a market, the cool part about wholesaling is it's not really proprietary. If you make a ton of money cold calling code violations and texting the probates, there's nothing special about that. And that's good. That's scary for some people who are actually making a lot of money doing it. But it's like a kid can just call the same list. They're all going to use X leads for skip tracing. And then they're going to use the same data sources. So it's like, what do you have that's special? I mean, the only thing you can do differently is your acquisitions and maybe your dispo. But like on the marketing side, it's like you can either add the volume or do something else that everyone's doing. And the best part about it is, again, we have the largest wholesaling community. So it's like most wholesalers go through our course and they do what we say. So it's like they're doing the same thing you're learning. Like they're all learning from the same source.
Yeah,
Get to work.
that's it. Like I always told you my first 7 years, I just put my head down and I just did it because I honestly I didn't want to go back to my job, and I just learned every day was a reset. Every day you had to show up. No 2 days are ever alike, and that's the weird thing. And most of you guys have a job, like every day is like Groundhog's Day. I know when I worked for the company 12 years, it was I got to tell you, man, it was like literally torture. And then I switch over and go to wholesaling, and I didn't know what to expect. And all I can do is tell you after 23 years, every day is different. The only difference is you have to show up and consistently do the same work. And you can start with willpower. At some point, you'll have to switch over to discipline. Discipline is like you do it because you know it's what's best for you and your family. And that's what most of you are trying to work through. I can tell you guys, just at the end of the day, you have to be accountable yourself and you actually have to go out and do the work because we can talk about wholesaling. We love it. But me and Zach actually go out and do it. We had the luxury of being on the road, and it was interesting. The time frame, like kind of little things screw you up, but no matter what, you had to show up.
We had that big double closing. I'm like, go record me in this double closing in Venice Beach. That was crazy.
But you just figure it out. And then like my old self, I'm like, okay, we're out of town. Let's come up with an excuse. There's a 3-hour time difference. We're not in the studio. We're not this. Like that's it. True entrepreneurs figure out how to work the business, especially wholesaling. And then when you get really good, you figure out how you can actually go on vacation with your family and still keep your business running. Most of us go on vacation, we take a week off, we come back to like a complete crap show. And then you got all this work piled up. And then really you exhausted your, what do they call it? Vacation time, all that other fun stuff. And you realize you could do this over and over again, but build your base, get your deals going.
Oh, yeah.
Like this isn't like do one deal, go on vacation. Like you've got to build it. How long does it take? It's up to you, but give 24 months sacrifice. You can do amazing things. And that's the beauty of virtual wholesaling is you could take the show on the road and do whatever you want, but you're going to have to be disciplined. Not everybody can do it. And I understand that. So guys, like how long has it gone? Like 16, 17 days?
We're going for like
long. It's really neat.
I'm not even going for
but like there's certain things that tested me while I was on the road, and I'm a homebody. If you guys don't know me, I like being around my creature comforts, but it was fun. I got to meet up Zach halfway in it. Got to spend time with my wife, got to meet old family friends, got to meet new friends. I got a bunch of new business acquaintances, and that's the whole purpose of life. And so I've gone through that beautiful phase of raising children, doing everything. And so I'm in a new phase of my life, and wholesaling has really helped me get there. And virtual wholesaling is the one thing that puts it over the top for you.
There we go. I'll tell you this too. It's the reason I love virtual wholesaling is just It's the freedom that you get from it. Absolutely beautiful.
Uh,
Can't beat it. So I'm telling everyone, if the best way I'd get started right now is just find people who are successful and model their business, because so many, I'll tell you what to do, but some of y'all won't do it. Like I'll tell you, text 1,000 people a month. It just can't do it. Call 1,000 people. No, it's that belief is the main issue. It's like, because you haven't done it, you can't believe that it can be done. And what I found, the magical number is about 100 grand. Once you can make about 100 grand virtually wholesaling, or just wholesaling in general, the belief is always there, because that's more than your average job. And the thing about it is, in virtual wholesaling, to make 100 grand, it's not that rare. It's a very common occurrence. The thing about it is, if you look at, everyone says, why is wholesaling so hard to make 100 grand? I'm like, it's not hard. Like, easy for you. And then I basically explain like how to make, 100 grand in wholesaling real estate. It's pretty simple. The thing about it is, number one, do you know how many Americans make over 100 grand a year? Like workers, not people. I think people's kind of you got people who are disabled, people who don't work, stuff like that. But like people who are actively in the game of working a job. Do you know how many of them want to make 100 grand or more? Pretty much all of them. I mean, 99%, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, do you know how many workers? Let me know in the chat, guys. How many? Don't cheat. How many workers make over 100 grand a year in the United States of America? Does anybody know the number? Everyone wants to do it, but do you know how many do it? Let me see the guests. Okay. All right. We got people saying me. No. What's the percent? The percent. Is it 1%? Is it 50%? Is it okay? So Nelson says he thinks it's 30. DeAndre says 10. So the actual number is about 21%. So about 21% of all United States workers make 21% of all United States workers make 100 grand or more. So it's like, that means 80% of people can't make that. So in general, roughly, okay, we're going to say roughly. Now, this is where everyone rolls their eyes. All right.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to get very upset at me, but I just don't care. Okay. Do those people do the 21% of workers, are they working harder than the people everyone who makes 100 grand or more, are they working any harder than the ones making less than 100 grand? Are they usually have higher IQs or not? You really got to see what it is, right? No. The answer is clearly no. This is a factual statement. If you're making over 100 grand, you do not work harder on average than someone who makes less than 100. Huh. Crazy, right?
Interesting.
Do you know the biggest difference between someone who makes 100 grand and not 100 grand? There's one very clear one. Is education is the number one thing. But that's the first one. There's also another one that I've always shown that people make more than 100 grand. Number one's not working hard, but number one's education. If you are higher educated, you get more opportunities. That's just the fact. This is not a wholesaling statement, but that's just in working a job. If you become a nurse, a doctor, there's way more opportunities to make more than 100 grand, right?
Yeah.
Now, number two, and the most important reason why people make over 100 grand a year, right? It's opportunities. That is by far the best way possible. Because if you are a salesman and you're really good at sales, like insanely good, and you use that effort to start selling, $10,000 used cars, it'll be very difficult to make 100 grand, even if you're elite, because there's only so many cars you could sell. But if you go and sell high-end Porsches or Ferraris, and you're really, really good at selling cars, you could probably 20x your income. Because it's the same. I think most people know, but like selling a $10,000 car to a really, really cheap, annoying guy is the same thing as selling a Ferrari to a rich snob. It's the same amount of work, the same amount of questions, the same amount of hassle, right? Actually, the difficult person's way, way worse. It's the same thing as dealing with a very difficult. If I have to deal with a very difficult seller, I'd rather make 100 grand on that deal than, a difficult seller making 1,000. But difficult sellers will be on $1,000 deal and they'll be on $100,000 deal. Name of the game here. So the thing about it is either it's education or opportunities. Now, kind of the same thing in wholesaling. I know everyone's going, well, I don't have a degree. Okay. I'm not saying like college education. I'm talking about education in general. Education is not about college. That's my personal choice. Very smart people without degrees, very smart people with degrees. The cool part about education is we have this thing called the internet, and we have AI now. And if I want to be, and I'll be honest with you, right? If you want to be more educated than somebody who has a PhD in history, if you go read all the information on the internet, I promise you, if you go to Grok AI, I promise you Grok AI knows more about history than somebody with a PhD in history. Overall, one person, Grok knows way more, right? Unless there's inside information Grok can't get, right? It's true.
Yeah, well, the old school.
It's great. But there's some things we're not going to talk about medical stuff and like, oh, is that infected or not? Like, okay. But like for most things, the internet, your education, and when it comes to business education,
most people equate education to the school system and college. And I think you're in an age where education, you could self-direct a lot of it. Because you got to understand, back in my time, education, there was only formal schooling. There was no YouTube. There was nothing. And today, honestly, I'll tell you, you can get more information than ever. The problem with it is anybody can put the information out there. So you got to decide who you're going to decide for that information. But you have the same ability as a Harvard graduate student to get the same absolute information. Is it harder or easier? That's up to the individual. There's people that I've met, some of the most educated, talented people never stepped a foot in school. So why? Because all the information is readily available. What you do with it is a whole decision you have to make to yourself. But when we say education, everyone instantly thinks, oh, college, formal schooling. Today, you go to almost any school you want, any online university. It's very, very accessible.
There you go. So I think Kevin, he says knowledge would be better. I would say knowledge. So again,
what's the difference between education and knowledge then?
I don't know the exact definition.
It's very interesting. Someone should need to look it up.
I'll look it up.
I love these thought-provoking words. This is what ADHD does for you. So, like understanding the difference.
It says education is the process of acquiring knowledge. Knowledge is the thing that you get. So that's actually more true. I'd say we can use knowledge. Some people say skills. You can do that to a point. But the thing about it is,
aren't skills just
skills is
using education and actually putting knowledge in the work?
True. So it's about so I'll say knowledge, and then when it comes to your opportunities. Now, when knowledge meets opportunity, that's where you can make a lot of money. So for example, if I decided I wanted to create if I want to create a window cleaning company, and let's say never got into wholesaling, I believe I could be a millionaire from making a window cleaning company. If that's what I decide to go in, I guarantee I'd get really good at it. I'd get a nice little client base. I'd start hiring people, and I just start expanding it, right? And have all my guys do door to door. That's what but here's the thing. I would probably only end up at my age now after 8 years, probably netting maybe $500,000 by now.
Yeah.
Right. But I used what I know and my effort into wholesaling, make a lot more than that.
You got to hire the pigeons to do the droppings on the windows.
Yeah.
That's my problem. The minute after they're cleaned, the dang pigeon just, probably your pigeons.
So here's the thing. Okay. Knowledge and opportunity. And so the same thing happens in the wholesaling. It's again, knowing how to close a seller. It's knowing how to go market to sellers and then doing the action, but also it's the opportunity. It's going out here and being in front of the right sellers and getting, quote, lucky. Now, the question is, how do you get lucky with a really good seller? Again, it's when the opportunity meets itself and you're doing enough volume. When volume meets opportunity. So, for example, we all know these, these like magical unicorn sellers, right? And like they're a seller that just like, it's an easy deal. You make 80 grand. It's like, whoa, right?
Yeah.
You know those deals, right?
Yeah.
It's like that, that 80K closing. So I'm thinking about the 80 grand, right? But like the thing is, deals like that, they happen. They happen. They don't happen every day, right? It's not every day we get $100,000 deal. Not every day.
No.
Right? Monthly. But it's like, well, Zach, how do you do that? How do you get 100K deals monthly? It's like, well,
probably it's
that to a point, but also it comes with volume. So how do I increase the chance I get a $100,000 deal this month? Well, if I cold call 10 people a day, I'm not going to hit that. If I call thousands of people every single day, the chance of me getting one deal that's 100 grand, it just exponentially increases.
Yep.
And there comes to a point where most wholesalers in virtual wholesaling, it's like, how could, where's this question? It's just so funny. There you go. There you go, Moses. How many government leads, calls, texts monthly to make 50 grand a month? Well, let me switch the question for you. Let me ask a question to myself based on what you said, because I'm crazy. What's the percent that I'm going to make 50 grand this month? Well, all I have to do is look at your marketing and your skill sets and go from there. So for example, if Moses is making 10,000 calls this month at a 20% contact rate, which means that people pick up, then he's sending 10,000 people on a drip in, ninja mode. And then he's sending 20,000 emails a month, and they're all being answered, and he's closing at a regular rate.
Mm-hmm.
I can guarantee he's probably at a 98% chance of making 50 grand that month. If he can make 10,000 calls on government lists, 10,000 texts, and he's doing the email blasting, he's almost at 98% there. If he does everything right. Well, what if he decided he's only going to call 1,000 and only do 1,000 texts and 1,000 emails? It's like, well, he's probably going to be at like 20%.
Yeah.
That's not bad, because at 20%, that means in 5 months, he's almost guaranteed to get a deal doing that, right?
Yep.
So that's the thing. I like using percentages. So it's like this. What's the percent chance in the state of Florida? What's the percent chance that I'm going to encounter an alligator in the next 30 days? 100%. Because that's just me. 110% chance. I see alligators all the time. It's like, okay, well, what's the chance that I go make $50,000 in wholesaling in the next month? The chance is 100% because I already did that this month. like you do that in a day. So the thing about it is, why is the chance of me doing that almost 100%? I always look at Vegas statistics. It's like, what's the percent chance that LeBron James scores over 5 points in the next basketball game he plays? It's like it's like 99.9. The only thing is, if he, God forbid, tears his ACL the first play, right? Yeah. That's the thing. And what's the percent chance the Dolphins are going to lose a game next season? It's almost 100%. But like that's the thing. And so if you do so much marketing and you just kind of basically do what we tell you to, it's almost guaranteed you win.
Yeah.
Because if you do a certain amount of marketing, you're always going to get a deal. Always. And the best part about it is, if you just do enough volume, you're almost guaranteed to get success. And the reason why I'm telling you, I know everyone thinks I'm crazy, why you should talk to 5 people who make over 100 grand a year wholesaling inside the Discord, you're going to be like, okay, well, I talked to John, and John's making 200 grand a year, and he cold calls 5,000 people a month. Okay, cool. I go to Rick, and Rick does, let's say Rick says he sends 20,000 texts a month. Okay. Then third guy, he says he only cold calls probates, code violations, but he manages to get at least like 6,000 calls in. But he also does 6,000 texts. And then 4 or 5, they may do 10,000 calls. Okay. Well, I'm writing this all down, right? I'm like, okay, I should do 500 calls a month. You're not going to do that. The thing is, like, if I talk to 5 people, I guarantee you they're all going to be doing really good volume.
Yep. So
it's like, well, if I talk to 5 guys making over or gals, and they're all doing at least 10,000 calls, what do you think you should be doing? If I talk to bodybuilders, natural bodybuilders, not the roided people, it's like, I work out at least an hour a day. It's like, okay, I should work out 10 minutes a day. No, if they're all jacked and they say they work out at least an hour a day, that's probably a prerequisite to being jacked, to at least an hour a day consistently, right?
Yep.
And if you and I know this is a crazy one, but I guarantee you, if you are 500 pounds, I know this is where I get in trouble, but I don't really care. If you're 500 pounds, I can guarantee, all right, if you ate 1,500 calories a day, I don't care if it's Cheerios, you will lose weight. Guarantee it. I can guarantee it. And it's just like, well, I'm not losing weight. It's like, okay, well, here's a box of Cheerios. This is 1,000 guys. This is all you're allowed to eat today. I guarantee you'll lose weight.
You have other problems, but you're going to lose weight.
No, but you'll lose weight.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Don't do that.
No, don't do that. But like, there's just, I hate to be this person that's just like so like monotone, like input output, but like this is
But
what we got to focus on. We can't focus on our feelings.
yeah, but here's the analogy with wholesaling. You just talk about weight because most people struggle with it, including myself over times. Is we say, okay, you come up with a plan, it's 1,500 calories. You're like, great, I'm on, right? You even have a chart. And you start out great, probably the first 2 or 3 weeks, and then you get hungry. And then so let's transition to wholesaling. Same thing. Super excited. You're doing if you committed to, I don't know, 1,000 calls a week when you're on plan, you want to get 4,000 done in a month, and then you get tired or something doesn't quite work right. And then what do we start doing? Both groups just start lying to yourselves. Well, if I eat that extra 3,000 calories, it's no big deal. I will restart the next day. And once you do it, it creates all other sorts of cravings. And you start doing it. Go to wholesaling. You start going, okay, I'm doing it. If I had to call 150 people, they go, 25, it's pretty good. I can probably make it up. I can do something like that. And then you get used to it. And once you get used to it, you are in trouble. And that's the problem when you do the analogy, anything health, weight, and wholesaling, it's the same. You all start out with a great plan. Everybody has hopes and ambitions. And when we spent a bunch of time in California, we're doing the X-Leads thing is, listen, here's the reality. Here's the one thing me and Zach have noticed over time is everyone's got a plan just to start. But very few people will stick to the plan, even write it out and go, okay, hey, I'm going to make progress. The greatest way for me and Zach to help anybody out, it's not one-on-one coaching. The community is helpful, but like, give me your numbers. Give me your numbers. I can fix anything, or I can give you feedback. If you don't have numbers, what comes into play? Emotions, drama. Numbers just can't lie to you. Emotions are based on how you feel that day. And don't get me started with the difference between an emotion and feeling. Look it up. It will shock you. And most of you in a repetitive pattern. So you take that same repetitive problem you have sometimes your weight and your health, and you guys do the exact same thing in wholesaling. The number one thing I tell you is do not use your old self, your personality, your ego to try to be successful in wholesaling. It will kill you. And we all have tendencies. We have just been ingrained our entire life. It is shocking in wholesaling when you actually have to do stuff. You have to be brutally honest and you have to tell yourself the truth and be accountable. How do you do it? You can't bring your emotions and feeling in it. It's just numbers.
Yep.
And then once we do that, just like this, think about this. If you want to lose weight, do you have to put yourself on a scale and measure you to have a starting point? Yes. And then how do I know if you're progressing? You have a plan. Either it's but listen, nutrition's 90% of it, in my opinion. 10% is just getting moving around. But most of it is you can control what you put in your mouth, but you got to have a plan and you got to measure. And then what do? You should measure at least once a week and then you make progress. So how do I do wholesaling if, okay, I'm starting out broke. I don't really need a measurement. Okay, great. Here's my marketing plan. This is how many people I'm going to call. Okay, great. Hey, Rick, Zach, I'm struggling. I can't seem to make things work. It's just this, and then here's where it starts. Ready? The excuses. What are excuses? The story you tell yourself to justify why you're not winning. Once you get rid of that, you can actually fix the problem. But excuses just layer it up. I'm just big boned. I just have that type of body no, you ate this and you said you were going to eat that. And then the only person who can hold you accountable is who at the end of the day? Is yourself. You can tell me and Zach whatever you want. But when it gets to wholesaling, we start doing the same thing. And then we start the excuse trade, and it's a slippery slope. Well, you don't understand my market. You don't understand my mom. You don't understand my dad. Dude, we all got crap going on. A lot of it. The ones that win in wholesaling apply a plan and they stick to it no matter how painful. And that's where me and Zach tell you the uncomfortable part of it comes. And this is the part me and Zach talk loud and proud in wholesaling. You've got to be willing to get uncomfortable. You're not getting punched in the face, but your ego is going to take a massive bruise. And the only way to win, I tell you guys, lose your ego and you can win this fight. If you want to win with your ego, you have zero probability of winning in wholesaling. I see it all the time with wholesalers. I was that guy. And once I buried it, I opened my mind. I listened and I learned from others. And today I do the exact same thing. You should learn till the day you die. Most people stop learning in their early 20s. They're it. I can find something. You're just honestly, you've already died. You're just waiting to be buried, in my opinion. So don't be that person. Why would wholesaling be any different? I want you, like, if I can grab, it's easy to say just lose your ego. It doesn't mean much to people. You can't learn. Your ego is always going to make you right. It's going to make you the center of attention, and you're going to justify your actions no matter what. And so once you lose the excuse, you lose your ego, you can learn anything you want. Because I promise you, if you're struggling in wholesaling, you're stuck on something that is outside of wholesaling and you're in this repetitive loop. Why do you think people stay fat for so long? It's not that they're meant to be fat. It's usually their environment and their habits that come back. You have to break them. And breaking the habit, as Lincoln Park says, is the hardest part to do. You have to break the habit. Easier said than done, and I agree. But look at a wholesaling just like you look at your health. If you analyze it like that, I'm hoping I can just get across to one person is have a plan, stick to it, be brutally honest to yourself, and embrace the suck, the uncomfortable part, and you can do anything you want in wholesaling. So if you just remember that, sometimes I say lose the ego, and it's like, what the hell does he mean by that? There's a majority of the public that I deal with. I already know if their ego's up, I can't get anything past them. It's not my job to convince you. And remember, the less you talk in public, the more powerful you are. Why? Because I'm not going to justify anything. Though, because when you're quiet, you're working. When you're running your mouth, you're usually trying to justify something in your ego. So just keep it in mind. Remember your old self. To really win, you're going to have to kill it. And I know everyone sounds difficult, but the person I am now when I started wholesaling, complete different. But the drive and my belief and reason and conviction why I started wholesaling has never wavered.
Yeah.
My techniques and confidence, a whole different story. Remember, I was just a local wholesaler. That's it. That's all why? Because it's all I was taught. It's all I knew. And I activated my ego, and I missed out on a lot of opportunities when I was younger. So just be open to it. To me, it's the most efficient way. And if you really want freedom of your time, which is why I started wholesaling, if you want to become financially free, virtual wholesaling, in my opinion, is the best way to do it. A combo with your local market.
Yeah. Also, on top of that, too, it's like, how do I do boots on the ground? That's another question I get. It's like, well, use those guys and gals you talk to as your boots on the ground starting out. Because this new wave of coaching and wholesaling is very interesting, where it's like back in the day, you gave the guy 20 grand, he'll teach you on a deal what to do.
Yeah.
Well, what's kind of changed is they still want to do boots on the ground with you, right? And the thing is, I can go to a guy who's making 300 grand a year virtually. It's like, well, I need help because I'm in Botswana and I need you to be on my boots on the ground. They're like, well, I'm going to take half the deal, which is like 10 grand, 10 grand, but I'm going to do it all for you. And I have a buyer. Yeah. That's the new coaching. And then you see, and he literally walks the deal with you. It's like, wow, that really helped. I learned a lot from you walking it through. It's like training wheels for wholesaling. Now you have a boots on the ground. So everyone's like, oh, do I do boots on the ground? It's like, it's already going to be in there for you.
And guys, it's just, that's the way you can actually learn the business and make money. Listen, there'll always be some sort of classroom setting. I don't think that'll ever change, but like my ADHD.
Or you got freelancing.com.
Yeah, and that's it. So you do that, but like there's something that happens when you mechanically go out and start doing stuff, and you're going to get feedback. And that feedback, either you respond positively to it, like, oh my God, that was a lot tougher. I'm going to have to prepare for it. I got to practice, or you're going to react to it. A reaction is usually an excuse. God, that sucked. I don't want to do that again. It's like, it's terrible. Rick and Zach didn't tell me about that. Guys, anything worth in life, you're going to have to push through it and make it work. Guys, if it was easy, everybody would wholesaling. So Zach showed you in the beginning, was it 21% of people only make 100 grand or more? And guys, I mean, salaries have like doubled since what they were 4 or 5 years ago, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not asking you to be all that special. Like 100 grand is with my eyes shut wholesale once you time frame into it. So if you understand that, I want you, this whole thing, you want to be the 1%? No, I just want you to make your life better. Stop worrying about what percentage class you're in, what you're called. Get the skill sets in now, because when you learn wholesaling, and you will go on a journey in wholesaling, once you have that skill, nobody can take it away from you. So unless you do something highly illegal and stupid, which, by the way, we have multiple people that convicted felons flipping houses behind bars. Listen, people do what they got to do. Desperate people will do what they have to do to take care of their things, to get their, what do they call it in jail? What are their perks called when they get them?
Commissary.
But like if somebody can do it behind bars or somebody can do it in a foreign country, why can't you do it?
I agree. So again, boots on the ground, you're good to go. Number 9, again, just make $100,000 from that. Use those funds to start getting your own boots on the ground, getting your own VAs and more marketing systems. Then from there, after you make $100,000, you just start adding more systems in there. It's like, okay, well, it's like if I'm making 2,000 calls, I'm making $50,000 a month. Well, what I'm going to do is triple the amount of VAs I have. Let's make 7,000 calls. Now you're in ninja mode, right? Which is X Leads Dialer. Now you can add a triple line dialer in there.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, now you're making more money. It's just, it's simple. And then you start as making a ton more money in there because you're adding more volume in marketing. You know how to close correctly. And you're making a ton of money virtually wholesaling. It's the name of the game here, right?
Yep, perfect.
That's it. So that's how I would get started from scratch, virtually wholesaling real estate 2025. If you got questions, we're here to talk to you. If you want to do a one-on-one, I have my streamer link right here. I'm going to post it in there for everyone. If you want to hop on and talk to me, you got to be on the YouTube channel. So we're live on Flip with Rick on YouTube. If you want to go, you can click here, click the streamer link. We'll hop on, we'll talk to you, and we'll answer any of your burning virtual wholesaling real estate questions. Enzi says, Zach, can I ask a general question? Why do you guys do this? What do you gain out of free stuff you provide? So Enzi.
Good question.
So obviously a great question. It's because I have a secret $5,000 program in the back end that I don't tell anyone. Okay, it's a joke. So again, I get a lot of flack from people who say, Zach, you know, I get a lot of hate from people. Not a lot, but the people that hate me usually 90% chance that they sell a $6, $7, $9, $10, $12, $30,000 wholesaling program. So those people who hate me that sell a wholesaling program, I kind of just put them off the side. I mean, duh. I mean, if I had a $40,000 coaching program, I'd probably hate me too. I get it. But the other half are just haters. Now, the thing is, a lot of people are like, Zach, why do you teach wholesaling for free? I'll tell you the number one truth. The number one truth is I don't like coaching. I think it's a terrible business model. And I don't think that's what rich, successful wholesalers ever do. I'm being straight up with you. And be like, Zach, what do you mean? Well, when you're a rich and successful wholesaler, you know how you make most of your money? By wholesaling. So if I teach you wholesaling real estate for free, my general thought when I started out was, well, then they'll send me a JV deal. And then the best part about it is if somebody sends me a JV deal and we make 50 grand, I get 25,000 and you know, the person sending me a deal gets 25,000. I just collected $25,000 for coaching from one person without spending any time. You know why? Because running a wholesaling business is scalable. Running a coaching business is not scalable. What do I mean by this? If I was selling one-on-one coaching for 25 grand and I had to meet with you on a Zoom for an hour every single week, I could only have at most 40 clients a week. That's 40 students a week. So that means I only can have 40 students. That means the millions of other wholesalers, I can only do 40. That's insane. And what would that be? What's 40 times 25? Let's see. 40 times 25 is, that's $1 million. That's it. $1 million for an entire year. Like that is not worth it for me at all. Because I could get probably hundreds of deals, right? From just hundreds of 25K checks. And the best part about it is I don't even have to hop on the Zooms. I have underwriters. I have disposition staff. I have people running the company. I have people running the operations for me. I don't have to actually physically be in this business. I can make millions and millions of dollars more by just doing JV deals. So you ask, why do I do this? Number one, because I'm lazy. Number two is because I make way more money doing JVs. And number three, even if you don't send me a deal, you benefit from learning wholesaling for free. And the most important reason is, I'll just be straight up with you. Me and Rick are the only people on the internet in wholesaling real estate to give out free wholesaling information, like all of it. Contracts, JVs, a community, everything. How to close the seller, how to find deals, how to dispo. Everything that I have everything in my brain, I have in my free wholesaling course. And the thing is, nobody else has the balls to do it. Just being straight up with you. So it's like, why do you do this? Because I'm the only one. And so if me and Rick weren't here, who would teach everything about wholesaling for free? Nobody. Well, this guy does it. Well, that guy has a free wholesaling course. And then you go click on it and it says, well, if you want to learn how to dispel, you're going to have to give me 40 grand. It's like, whoa, bro.
A lot of people mimic it. But the question is, dude, why not do it? Like, do you guys enjoy paying big dollars for everything? Listen, there's a lot of good information on there. I've been in this business a long time. Dude, this model, like, it just doesn't agree with me because there's such a high failure rate. So we set it up to where you can look at the course without paying for it. And we find the people, listen, 100 people go to freewholesaling.com. Here's the brutal truth. Maybe 7 to 10 do something with it, like actually do damage. Me and Zach know this going into it. Let me ask you, if I charge you for coaching and I knew 90 to 95% of you failed, why is this model so screwed up? So our effort here is to change it. And honestly, there's only one person me and Zach subscribe to. This is what pisses most people off. It is you, the wholesaler, period. I'm not looking for the guys doing 100 deals a year. They're so far and few between, and they already know it all. And God bless them. They deserve it.
I probably already talked to them.
But the reality is, guys, is we want to find the winners by us doing this. I've already told you what's the highest skill set you can learn in wholesaling. It is marketing. Me and Zach are living proof of this right now. Guys, you watching this creates eyeballs on us. You guys learn from us. You get excited. You connect with us because we're authentic. Everybody met us in LA understands. And then you trust us to do a deal with it. I already told you, I do wholesaling as a marathon wholesaler. You want to be a sprinter? Run. Sprinters take fast cash and really don't care about the result. The bottom line is you get it free. So use it or lose it. And you know what? If you're not going to use it, that's your fault. Me and Zach have set the bar here. But let me ask you, you guys you're fine with free Google and Gmail, all that other stuff. They're still bopping you over the head on the backside. Me and Zach have yet to do it. So instead of asking why are you doing this, why don't you ask why not? And are you going to take advantage of it? Stop. Everybody thinks everything's like a gimmick. You guys are so used to being pounded over the head. And for once, somebody stands up and gives you like the truth on how to do this. The only person me and Zach care about are you guys. Oh, yeah. And I get it. If I'm selling a program, like it wouldn't even make sense. We don't hate anybody. We actually think it's good information. We just think it's a basic skill set that should be taught for free, because if I teach you how, I've had one person give me 7 deals. You do the math. Do you think I'm making more money on wholesaling and partnering up people or charging someone even $1,000 for coaching? And like one-on-one, if I do one-on-one, aren't I defeating the entire purpose of what I'm trying to teach you here? I'm trading my time for money. Guys, if you get one-on-one coaching, unless, I'll give you an exception, if it's local and they're very talented in your market and you're splitting it 50-50, God bless you. I'm all for that. I think that's great. But when people try to do it nationally, how much time are you really going to get?
Well, I also want to include something else that is very disingenuous. Now, if I was going to create a wholesaling real estate coaching program, first and foremost, we can't do it at a low scale, because if I charged, I don't know, $1,000 to be in our mentorship or whatever, there'd be too many people in it. And
it would overwhelm us. Yeah.
I can't have people paying me and I have 2,000-3,000 people in it, right? It ain't gonna work. Well, it's like, okay, well, I would have to charge, 15, 20 grand. Maybe I'll charge 8 grand to be a nice, cheap guy. Okay, I charge 8 grand. Well, how would I sell it? Every coaching program has the same gimmick. It's for life. You pay 8 grand once and it's there for life. Here's the problem. I have ethics and morals. And I think wholesalers should have a code of ethics. If you're a wholesaler, and also if you're a coach, you should have a code of ethics. One code of ethics is I'm a man of my word. So what I mean by this is, if I tell somebody, if you give me 8 grand to be in my coaching program, you are in the program for life with me. Well, what happens when I'm 98 years old and I don't want to do this anymore?
Or you sell the business.
Or I sell the business. And guess what happens? Well, you know, Zach took my 8 grand and now he's not in it anymore. And now then my whole reputation's ruined because I lied to you.
Yeah.
You know, and most wholesaling coaches after 10 years, they always get out of the game.
They just reinvent
And, you know,
themselves
and then they
or
get into another industry. But like the thing about it is like, if I charge you 8 grand, I'm not going to guarantee when I'm 98, I'm going to be on YouTube teaching about wholesaling. Maybe not. I would literally have to have my son or daughter or bring somebody in,
grandson.
but it's like, well, you're not Zach. And then people get really upset. And then now I lost my reputation, which is the most important thing to me. So yeah, no, I'm good.
Guys, you guys understand.
Yeah.
I'm a big advocate. The word lifetime or evergreen, which to me mean the same.
FTC's going to go on me for
It
that
is
one.
a great sales pitch.
Oh, Lord.
It is rarely fulfilled. And that's just not wholesaling. That's everything. You know how many products I bought? I have a lifetime warranty and I can't find anybody to help me out. It's just, I think it's become such an old sales pitch that the idea is you got to find someone's reputation or they're actually going to come through. I have bought more wholesaling products with lifetime access that there's no more servers, there's no more domain, they just disappear. And I like, to me, it's a red flag when you say lifetime. Now, if you can live up to it, God bless you. But like, God forbid something happens to you. And we all know about life is like, I think it's like I don't know, like a lifetime, man. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I make plenty of money. Does Warren Buffett have a coaching program?
No. So listen, coaching's coaching. It's it. If you want to pay for it, great. We just give you options. My biggest challenge with the coaching industry, you can't see the course until you pay, period. And that to me doesn't make sense. And
I don't want to get into it. It's so stupid. But guys,
yeah,
why do you do it for free? It's because I make plenty of money wholesaling and I get a ton of JVs. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
So we rather work with you, make money with you. How do we do that? We connect with you. We give you the actual information and we make it free to you. And then for those of you that take actions, which I love, then we just partner up on you. And you just kind of, I get people all the time just trying to send me money. Hey, you made me $50,000. You made me $20,000. Well, I want to send you something. I go, no, either donate it to a charity or do it each one of your choice. I have no obligation. For once, we can tell you the truth here. It's very freeing. And we want you to be successful. So we have to give you our best foot forward. We have to give you all the information. I told you, if 100 people take it and 5, 7 take action, I've done my job and I'm fine with it. And those people that didn't make it, they at least kind of understand what they're going through. And if they want to come back and reattack it, they understand the expectation of what they have to do. I think so many people come in the wholesaling and I think the message has been said, it's simple, it's easy. Guys, it's real work. But if you'll apply yourself, it's doable by anybody. I ain't the smartest guy. I know that for sure. He's a lot smarter than I am. But the idea, it's about people that take action and actually follow through. Those are the ones that actually win in wholesaling. If you're smart, it helps. I'm not going to lie to you. But people like me, I just have to work harder. So if you're willing to work harder, then you're fine with it. I'd rather take somebody that will outwork somebody because outworking someone's so much more reliable than actual IQ and like smarts.
There we go. So yeah, that's why we do it for free. Again, I get asked, why don't you do one-on-ones? It's like, I could literally only have 40 students. That's 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
Like it ain't going to work.
Most one-on-one coaches are going to be someone who's like brand new, who doesn't have a lot of deals.
The craziest reach we did was make X leads, but I literally had to make X leads because no wholesaling software would take up any of my ideas.
Yeah.
Like that, I have plenty of real estate. I have plenty of ideas of what should work or what shouldn't work in software for wholesaling.
Yeah.
And all the people that own wholesaling softwares, they are software people. They're not wholesalers. And they say, beat it, Zach. You don't know what you're talking about. So I'm like, fine, I will go make my own. I say, hey, can you stop charging people this much? Can you like make it affordable? You don't even own the data. You're literally using you're literally going to billion-dollar corporations and just paying for their data and then saying it's yours. And so I'm like, well, screw it. I'm just going to make my own. And so I'm able to do that. And I didn't want to make a whole software. And all the softwares basically told me I'm not going to listen to your ideas anymore. And so I'm like, all right, fine. I'm doing my own. Mm-hmm.
So guys, take the information. It's the person who takes action with the right information and just stays on the gas pedal. Like that's my big secret. Like I'd almost feel guilty selling a program based on that, but like you got to step up and do it. It doesn't matter who you use anybody outside of me and Zach, you're going to have the same dilemma. So you might as well get the truth and understand what you're getting into it. I'm looking for people that want to move forward. To me, it's really like nobody talks about this. It's really frustrating about people that are just excited about wholesaling, but they never really plan on doing anything.
Oh yeah, look at this one. This guy said, I went through a coaching program and then I got kicked out of his mentorship, and now I can't get his information. Now, I'm actually going to defend the wholesaling coach on this one. This is again why I don't do coaching, because if somebody on X Leads, we've actually had this last week. We had an X Leads customer call one of our customer service people, who I love this guy.
Yeah.
Calls him and says, "F you," and he starts just cussing out the guy.
It's all recorded.
Guess what I
guys.
did?
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, you're banned from X Leads." He said, "You can't do that." I said, "Yeah, I can." So you don't talk to people like this, and you don't talk to my employees like this. I will not have you as a customer. You treat people like this. And boom, let them know. And I let my employee know, like, if somebody treats you terribly, I will kick them out, and they're banned for life. And the craziest part is, I don't know what this guy did. He might have done something good or bad. I'm not, but like, here's the thing. You probably paid somebody 10 grand. You probably said something that was not in the circle of what you're supposed to say.
Or you said Rick and Zach.
Or you said Rick and Zach has this for free. You get kicked out. Now you spent 10 grand. You don't get your money back. And now you're going to go around the internet and say, "Oh, this guy scammed me." The thing is, the way I am, if you disrespect me or somebody in my circle of my companies, I just kick you out. Like, I don't want you in here. But the problem is, so many people, it's like, well, I'm not getting your money back. And now you got people angry about you on the internet. And so you might have done something good. You might have something bad. You probably mentioned my name and got kicked out. I don't really care. But the thing about it is, I do it all the time. And I tell everyone no one actually, it's like, hey, if you I don't know, curse somebody out, you're going to get kicked out.
Yeah, so take that energy and just put it in the freewholesaling.com. Like, use your rage if somebody pinned you against the corner, put it in the wholesaling. You guys that go on and just listen, we love your comments, but you get some negative Nellies and let's say I see all the sites you guys post on. After a while, everyone's like, man, this person doesn't have anything positive to say. And you become like the hater of the haters. Take that same energy and put it in the wholesaling, for God's sake. Some of you guys spend hours, if not days, commenting. Same energy. You could be doing digital bandit signs. You could be doing bandit comments. You could be doing all this stuff. Guys, listen, I'm the type of deal. I get a bad meal at a restaurant, I'm done. I'm not going back there. I'm not going on Yelp and leaving a 4-page review. Just bad experience, move on. Put your efforts in the freewholesaling.com. You'll be impressed with what will happen.
There we go. Yo, Jeff.
Hold on. He gave the hold signal.
Can you guys hear me?
There we go. What's going on,
man?
Oh, I didn't have to do anything. Good. How are you?
I'm good. What's up? How can I help you out?
So I've been looking into real estate. I've been looking into real estate for a while, or wholesaling for a few years now, probably about 3 or 4 years. I've tried to do a few things, talked to some sellers, talked to a few real estate agents, but once the ball gets going, I'm very comfortable speaking to people. Once the ball gets going, though, I'm just kind of I don't know what to do, and it seems overwhelming. And so I don't know what kind of advice you guys have. I kind of like you, Rick. I feel like I probably have some level of ADD, and just my brain just goes wherever. I don't know how to structure and organize myself after I begin talking to people.
So I hear you. 3 years. I'm going to tell you, you have some sort of mental breakdown with it. So if you have ADHD or not, it doesn't matter. You got to understand, ADHD in a way is a superpower if you use it correctly.
Right.
If I get 10 things in front of me and it's I got to go 10 different ways, I'm not going to do I get aggravated. When I get aggravated, I don't get anything done. So what I learned, just like this, is number one, get word of words. Try. I'm thinking about doing this. So number two, you told me you're talking to realtors. You're pretty much wasting your time there. You understand how we work here. You have to find motivated sellers that need to sell their home. Off market, direct to seller needs to sell. You just got to set your wholesaling compass. Once you set your wholesaling compass, you just got to go to the course. After that, all you have to do is locate them and talk to them. Stop worrying about everything else. So how many motivated sellers have you talked to over the last 3 years? Actually, the last 30 days.
Oh, last 30 days? No.
Yeah. Okay. But you and me are having this conversation, and I applaud you for wanting to change. I applaud you for coming on here. But like our entire message in this thing is you got to do the work. All you have to do is locate them. You can either use a piece of software like xleads.com or go get your government list. There's not a financial burden. Then you got to get them, and then you got to either cold call them. You got to send them a piece of mail. You got to reverse drag for dollars, or just a good old door knock, or text them. And that's it. And just go and just do it for 30 days. And that's all you focus on, because you're like me, like, oh crap, what if they actually want to do a deal with me? I don't know how to write a contract. Then how do I find a title company? How the hell am I going to sell this thing? I give up. This is crazy. I'm going to go find someone else that will show me like different steps. One thing at a time. Zach's good at this. He'll take me. He's like, Dad, just these two things. That's it. Just nail it. And once I get it done, I feel a flow that starts going. The next thing is like, we all want the answers for everything, right? My favorite part is, how much do I offer? I have simplified this for you. You got a $250,000 piece of property, build a relationship with them, connect with them, and just use the go for no. The reason is, I know it's going to be uncomfortable, but the reality is you have to buy it at the lowest price to make it work for wholesaling. You can disagree or argue with me, but at the end of the day, everybody does it in one format or another. Realtors list high, wholesalers going low. You can't do it cold unless you connect with people. Find properties that have problems. So all you need to do is focus on, how do I find these type of motivated sellers, the ones that off-market direct to seller need to sell, and how many can I contact in a month? Forget the rest. You got to stop it. Maybe reach out to a title company, because they're going to be your biggest assistance when it gets going. You can use our school community too. They'll help you answer questions. And then the zachdiscord.com is very, very detailed, and every Friday night, but that thing goes 24/7. It's like crypto. It never stops. It scares me a little bit, but we get help. You just got to focus on the front part of it. The rest of it will work itself out. Because let me ask you this, if you don't get a motivated seller and you can't solve a problem, do you have to worry about underwriting it, selling it, dealing with a title company? What's the answer to that? No. So here's what I do. If you're all over the board, you're trying to worry about everything, just worry about finding motivated sellers and talking to them MCTP. And so our whole free wholesaling.com is designed to teach you how to have that conversation. Remember, if it's just about making an offer, me and Zach can't help you. You need to go get a realtor or a coach that specializes in just making cash offers, because it's strictly about the number. With us, we're connecting with people. We're trying to help them solve a problem. Now, we have a process for going it. We don't call it sales training, because sales training is about extracting, get people to people that want to buy something. We focus on people that need to do it. You're trying to look at all 100 yards. You just got to focus on the first 2 or 3 yards. It's too much. I already told you in the beginning, I didn't even know how to dispo a piece of property. I didn't know how to answer one question. I just found motivated sellers. I made money and I gave a crap load of it away. And I go, man, if I can figure this out, I can keep adding pieces of the puzzle. He can figure out everything in one shot. I have to microdose it. Like, okay, that's it. That's why I'm so good with motivated sellers. The techniques I teach are very rare on the internet in what I do, but they work. Everybody's got a different way. So what I would do is isolate motivated sellers and learn how to connect with them. And that's it. And after a while, you're going to get a lot of training in this journey of wholesaling. And then once you get someone else to talk to, is you already have the contract, freewholesaling.com, work with a local title company in that area if you're doing it locally or virtually. And that's it. And here's the best part. Say you get a great deal. Who can I call to do the deal with? I don't know. Sellmypaper.com. We do deals every week with people right here. People don't even have X leads. I'll still do deals with you, but we need deals. You got to buy them cheap and you got to follow our processes. If you want to do that, you can do it. You're trying to look at too many things. I can tell you're listening to a lot of people. I need Jeff to believe in Jeff. Jeff, you can do it. What's your background? What's your age?
37. I've been a school teacher for the last 3 years, and currently got 2 kids. So, that kind of keeps me busy.
So you were where I was at 33. I wasn't a school teacher. I was a corporate employee. Same thing. And listen, the fact that we're even talking tells me like you want it. You got to go get it, man. And you just got to like minimize those pieces. And you have advantages of school teachers. You get some time off. You talk to people at nights. But remember, how old are your kids?
7 and 6.
Okay. So You involved in your kid's life?
Oh, a
So
lot. Yeah,
show them the
absolutely.
next journey, like how you begin. Listen, my wife was a school teacher, so and we come from a long line of educators. The world's changed for teachers. Like, I'm not going to get into it, but like, it's hard. And it's hard to just depend on a teaching salary. I know it's extremely fulfilling. That's why most people do it, but we're in a different world. So it's okay to do other things to help get things done. But like your kids, you need to give your kids opportunity. The best way to do it is show them. Let's not talk about it. I know you love teaching. It's the only way you can do teaching, right?
Right.
But it's got limits. It's basically got a fixed salary. And so if you're wholesaling, you're attracted to that. So the best way is you can do both at the same time with
Yeah.
kids. I promise you. You just need to focus on finding motivated sellers and connecting with them. The rest will work its way out. You get a smoking deal, I'll take it down with you. I'll help you do the whole thing. I'll give you one further. If you get a great deal, you don't even have to have it under contract. Me and my team or me and Zach will work on it, negotiate it, get it under contract, and still split it with you. I'm still going to have you do some work with it. But that's how you really learn wholesaling, guys. You don't learn it from theory. Listen, free wholesaling is great to get you started, but like you got to start taking action. So I want you to focus on the marketing section, and that's it. And I want you to give it everything you got for 30 days, because that's what you need to do if you think like Rick does. Does it make
Well,
sense?
it makes a lot of sense. Can I throw something out there real quick?
Sure.
This past summer, I tried to do reverse driving for dollars.
Okay.
I did about somewhere between 75 and 100, just posting stuff on properties that didn't look like they had much upkeep.
Yeah.
I had 2 people call me back. One guy was actually interested. I also went to a local township and pulled the code violation list. I called about 50 people on that list. None, like the list didn't work. Like, I don't know. It just didn't seem like it was updated information. Is that typical with the township? And then last thing I did was I did the FISBOs, and that there wasn't much traction on that either.
Well, FISBOs are tough, but listen, let's go back to the first part. That person was interested in selling. What happened with that? Did you write a contract?
No, they gave me. It was a guy that had just come home from jail. He needed to sell. He thought he needed to sell his house, and then he kicked some story to me about, oh, I talked to so and so, and they gave me extra time. I don't have to do it now. And so I was so far away from the property, I didn't even drive out there to go see him.
I got it. But remember, if you're far away from the property, we're talking about virtual wholesaling. You can take anything down. You just got to continue and underwrite. Like a person like that, I'm going to be honest with you. Anyone can tell you something to like make you feel, oh, don't worry, they're not going to foreclose for another 6 months. It doesn't get rid of its problem. It just procrastinates it. So remember, we have to problem solve. We have to be resourceful. The challenging thing as a teacher is, you get principals, you get guidance counselors, all these people to support you. And when you come in the wholesaling, dude, you're it. Like there's no HR, there's nothing. And it is shocking. You got to think much faster on your feet, but that is a skill you learn when you do it. The second part is code violations. 50 is not enough to make a determination if it works. You need thousands to get through it. People, you just got to find out how fresh the list is. And am I calling on the right types? Overgrown grass, blue tarps, boarded up windows, stuff like that. And then you're going to have to give it some time to figure that part out. But 50 is not a lot. Like we go through thousands of leads just to get a few deals. It's just, that's the norm. And there's a huge part of follow-up. That's why we like to use X leads when we do it. So I think you're trying to look at like the 30,000 foot view and go, oh my God, this is overwhelming. Dude, just locate your wholesale compass and focus to it. Listen, talking to realtor is not going to get you far. Go ahead.
Okay, he's too nice to you. You've talked to 0 motivated sellers in 30 days. 0.
Right.
0. You got to change that.
0. No. Let me ask you.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? I lost service for a second.
Jeff, what do you do to a kid that doesn't do his homework? Do you say, "Oh, it's okay"?
No, they take the grade that they have unless I give them an alternative to for makeup or something. But
they take the grade, right?
No, they.
I'm giving him a 0 because he talked to 0 motivated sellers.
Is a 0 the same as an F?
Right,
by the way,
yes,
it is
50. If
where I am, we're not supposed to give zeros anymore. Everything has to be like depending on the school, 50 or 60. But essentially, it's the same thing.
Well, you got a 0.
A 0 is worse than an F because like you got
Yeah.
an F, you could get like a 50,
Jeff,
right?
you got a 0. 0 motivated sellers. Let me ask you the dang question. Did you watch this whole live stream?
I don't know. I got a notification, so as soon as the notification came up,
Okay.
I jumped
No
on.
problem. I said people who become successful in wholesaling usually have the knowledge and they have the right opportunities. So it seems like you have the knowledge, but your opportunities are terrible. You said you're talking to real estate agents. Why in the world are you talking to real estate agents?
I guess prior information that I got from someone else, and even though I was talking to for sale by owner, some of them had real estate agents connected to it, and so from there it just kind of happened. Like, oh well, I'm talking to somebody now, so I kind of just stuck with that. I wasn't necessarily looking for real estate agents. It just kind of happened.
Jeff, let me ask you a question. Whoever you're listening to, I don't know. Don't tell me who it is. Do they have a paid program?
Yeah, I took it.
Okay. Are you in their paid program?
I mean, my time is run out, so no.
No, you're not in their paid program anymore. You've been churned and
Right.
burned, buddy. So
Mhm.
I don't know why. If you've churned and burned through the paid course and it's not working for you anymore, I don't know why you're still in that.
I would abandon it.
Yeah, your time has run out, buddy. So I would do what we say. So let's kind of go back to the facts here. ODN, off-market direct seller needs to sell. So you need to talk. I would just go to X Leads, pull 1,000 leads. I'd probably pull code violations or government lists, throw that sucker in there, get it skip traced, and go make your calls. And then you'll talk in front of motivated sellers. You're really complaining to me that you did 100 reverse trying for dollars and you got nowhere. I mean, that's called the Saturday warm-up for me. All right. That's just how we get that's how we get the blood going. All right. That's how we get a little warmed up. So we need to pump these numbers up. I know you got kids. How old are your kids? Can you tell me?
7 and 6.
7 and 9 or
7 and 9. Let me ask you a question without.
7 and 6.
I know you're good.
6.
Okay.
He's busy.
Do they like iPads?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know a 7 or 6-year-old that don't like those dang iPads. Give those kids iPads, go in the car and start driving for dollars. I don't know what else I can tell you, man. They will not be miserable watching the iPad or whatever. You throw Coco Melon or Moana or whatever they like to watch. I guarantee if you have a daughter, they probably loves Moana.
Just take them to the park afterwards. Just
Go
spend
crazy.
time with them. Man.
Okay.
Like,
I'm just telling. I'm being honest. And for a lot of parents, and again, I do not have kids, so I'm not qualified for parenting advice, but I have good wholesaling parenting advice. If you don't let those kids play on the iPad during the week, but on Saturday mornings, they're allowed to go on the iPad, watch a movie, it is the best Saturday morning for them. And you get to drive for dollars while they're doing it. So you win. They're excited to get in the car, watch some whatever they watch, and you're going to go. The one thing I know about little kids is they can watch the same, if they're 6, they can watch the same movie for 10 hours straight and be super excited and happy. So let's get to work, buddy.
no.
So then once I connect with someone and I want to reach out to you guys, like, hey guys, I got this going on. How do I contact you? I have your app. I joined your community. Like how do I contact you guys?
Sellmypaper.com if you want to send a JV deal.
Remember, you can even reach out on that, even if you don't want to write the contract or you need help, but like identify a motivated seller. Like we're not here to take down a realtor deal. Like I have no interest in doing that. So if you want to work with us and spend time with us, find a deal. You will get my attention and time. The reality is a lot of people talk about it. We want to find the few that actually do it. So everything's in your power. I would just simplify it, set your wholesale compass, and just take 30 days and go all in and reach out to them. And like, involve your kids. Listen, kids are fine as long as they spend time with you. Like I used to just like draw in the dirt. Like I would do anything to spend time with my dad at the time. And like, that's it. And then by being with him, you can make it an experience. I dragged this kid around all the time when I did driving for dollars. Oh, yeah. He didn't know half the time we were doing driving for dollars.
That's what made me so screwed up as a man now.
But like he used to go through the houses and look at all the trinkets and stuff. And it's a good starting point for kids. You can't stick them with wholesaling at 5, although we should have like a junior wholesaling.
How many houses I've seen with bullet holes and rats, and I'm surprised I survived.
I told you not to tell your mother.
No,
So.
you
Your sister, on the other hand, she's been through like therapy to like the houses I bought.
Well,
She
you
always
brought-
picked the worst houses. Always.
You brought your daughter, my sister, to a hoarder house once.
It was no, it was more than that.
With
so
the worst ammonia. You can guess where that smells
no,
from.
to this day she still talks.
She's a little
about
girl, and you brought her through that house.
But we still go through like these houses. We just like virtually. I have someone else does it for me locally. We can still have people put eyes on them. Dude, you just got to focus on marketing and finding motivated sellers, because if you don't do that, it's like algebra 1. You've got to learn basic math to go to algebra 1, 2, and so forth on it. It's like going from Spanish 1 to 3. It ain't going to make sense. So I can tell people 100 times, just focus on the marketing and talking to it. And your biggest support outside of me and Zach and all our technology, school, Zach Discord, the whole 9 yards, wholesaling houses for real, is going to be your title company. That's all you got to focus on. And I would love to hear a report back to you within 30 days. But remember, you're going to have daily totals to hit your numbers. And that's what you have to do. Get rid of the try, no market saturated. You can only have price saturation, which are in like very, $1 million plus communities. So you just got to kind of shake it out of your head. And remember, the teacher side of you, take the inquisitive part of it and use that. But a lot of the skills you were taught as a teacher aren't going to be applicable to wholesaling, because the hardest thing I find with teachers is the resourcefulness. We're so used to people helping us with stuff outside when we're doing direct communication with the kids, which is how it should be. You just got to problem solve. I promise you that guy said, hey, I figured it out. It just took too much time. And then somebody gave him an excuse that you don't have to worry about it. And he just went some procrastination. I promise you he had to eventually sell that property, especially coming out of jail. I've been through so many of them. I already know how it works. Everyone's got an excuse. You've got to go and solve it.
So 1,000 calls. Can you do that?
And how long?
It's up to you, buddy.
1,000 a day. As many as you can. I mean, 1,000 a week would be awesome. But if it's 1,000 a month, I don't care. I mean, you're literally at 0 right now. So anything above 0 is going to be an improvement.
Remember, think 10x your quantity. That's what's going to fix your problem. You're going to have to go through the journey of wholesaling. The only way you can learn it is through repetition. So just like when your kids practice doing homework, we're not going to take 4 years, 3 years to do this. We're going to do this in 30 days. That's what you have to do to make this happen.
Okay.
And that'll become the norm. And then you'll understand what it takes to be successful in wholesaling. It's 3 years, dude. Like, you're an educator. I get it. Like, just dive in, do 30 days.
Let's go, Jeff.
You got it.
All right. Appreciate it, guys.
Okay, man. See you.
You know where I like wholesaling better than school? It's because if you hate school and you're bad at school, you know what they do?
What?
They put you in They put you in ISS or whatever, right? In school suspension.
I've been on that
one. Wait. They're like, so the kids are like, wait. I hate school so much. So you're going to suspend me from school. So you're going to pull me out of school for being bad in school because I hated school.
I never understand. You get suspended for 5 days.
I'm going to be pulled out of school for 5 days. This is amazing. You know what I mean? And here's the cool part about wholesaling. If you don't do what we say and you fail, you just make no money and you're broke. And being broke is the worst punishment, one of the worst ones you can get. So, there's real punishment here when you don't do the work. Global, what's going on, man?
Hold on, let me pause this dollar, man. Let me pause this dollar.
Oh, snap.
There we go.
I like it.
He's taking action, man.
I've been trying to get on the channel with y'all for a minute, man. How y'all doing?
I'm good, man.
How are you?
We're here.
Man, I'm doing amazing. So thank you for asking. So Rick, you was responding to a few of my questions I think 2 days ago. Can y'all see me or am I freezing up?
I see you.
You're good.
You're good.
Okay, yeah. So I wanted to kind of show you what I was going through. So I'm in the Houston market. Like I was telling you a couple of days ago, I've been wholesaling since 2019, and I'm in the Houston market. I've done just about every deal you can imagine, but man, I'm in a slump right now with this Houston market, and it sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like bad. So I wanted to kind of see if I could connect with you, show you my numbers, and show you what I'm doing as far as as far as my numbers. So right now I'm typically on $1 for about 9 in between 8 to 10 hours a day. My goals are set for 2,500 calls a week, and I'm actually exceeding those numbers. And out of those 2,500 leads that I'm reaching out to per week, I'm looking to at least make a connection to 150 people a week, and then I'm looking to make at least 15 offers a week, which I would like to get one contract a week, but I'm not hitting those numbers. So I kind of I didn't want to waste time with people that may really need to talk about their situation
No, we need to
more
talk
than
about your
me.
situation. We need to fix what's going on here.
Huh?
Let's take some time to help you out. Stop
Yeah.
trying to be selfish for once for yourself. All right. Let me help
Yeah.
you out. Let's help you out.
Yeah, David Lecco from Deal Machine, that's my guy. He gave me some information on what to pull, so I'm actually pulling my information from Deal Machine. I was using PropStream, but a lot of that data was kind of thrown off. So David had gave me some strategic stuff to pull from Deal Machine. So that's what I'm calling right now. So I'm actually using Deal Machine, skip tracing and everything right now versus what I was using at first. I do have about 8 deals under contract. Majority of it is land, but a lot of it is just not moving. You get what I'm saying? So
I got what you're saying.
I was kind of trying to pivot back to the houses because like I told you, I was in a slump. So they were like, hey man, you need to get back to what you know how to do best and get back on your houses. So
Your name's Lupi?
Loopy G.
Loopy G. Loopy G, let me ask you a question. I know David. David's a great guy. Is Dave? I just want. I'm gonna ask. I don't want to be offend. I don't want to offend anyone, but like, does David do deals in Houston?
No, he doesn't do deals in Houston. No.
Okay. What list are you pulling?
What he had me to pull recently, which was ended up being about 5,000 leads, close to 5,000 leads. It was high equity, 3 twos between 150 to 300,000. Well, he said 350, but I narrowed it down to 300,000 because the list was kind of big. Poor condition, unsound condition, and fair condition. So that's what I pulled, and then I narrowed it down to where that the owner owned the property for at a minimum 10 years. So a minimum 10 years, and the property age is built 2005 and older.
Okay.
So that's what I recently pulled.
First, David's a great dude. Deal Machine's an amazing software. You're not going to go wrong doing that. That being said, Deal Machine's a good software. It's a great software. You'll get plenty of deals. I've made a lot of money on Deal Machine. But here's the issue. If you're solo using a single dialer call high equities, you are cruising for a bruising, dude. I'm being straight up with you. So first and foremost, the money in Houston is with land. If you know how to do, if it's in the right area for land, it seems like the land's not moving. I mean, I think houses in Houston's the best way to do it, but
my land deals. So my land deals is actually in Florida, Alabama, and Georgia. I don't have any Houston land deals.
Okay, let's talk about Houston. I think David's great. Deal Machine's obviously amazing software. So those two things are great. I'll be straight up with you though. You need to use higher quality data. You could still use Deal Machine, but you should use higher quality data. So let's use Deal Machine, for example, since this is what you want to talk about for some reason. I don't know why. You should drive for dollars. I really don't understand why you don't do that. I feel like if you drove for dollars 8 hours, 9 hours a day, you would make way more money than what you're doing here. I think cold calling 9, 10 hours a day on high equities is probably one of the most brutal cold calling things you could ever be doing, especially on a single line dialer.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. And let me ask you a question, Loopy G. Just being straight up. Are you changing your phone numbers with your dialing, or is it the same phone number?
No, I'm actually using Mojo and I'm using a single line dialer.
So how many numbers on Mojo do you got?
3. So I have three numbers that I'm using. One number for when I'm calling out of state, and what I call out of state is land only. And when I call Houston, I'm calling with my Houston numbers.
Okay, Loopy G. We got okay. All right. What's your contact rate in Houston?
So, and that's a good question. So I would have to pull up my dollar and put my screen up in front of this.
While we're talking?
Give me a second. I have to switch over this tab.
Okay. So while you're pulling it up, let me talk to you. So if you're calling 9 hours a day, if you're making
And by the way, Loopy G, he's got the right attitude.
yeah, no, you're
Like
but
you're doing what most people
but
just
here's the
can't
thing.
stomach.
Yeah, man. I've been doing it for a
advice.
while. It's just that I made some wrong hires and added the wrong people to my team, and then I had to scrap all that, start back over from scratch, and I ain't messed up about it. It's just part of the game.
Welcome to the club.
I know, but here's the thing, Loopy G. Like, if you're gonna just use deal machine systems, you'll be good. But when David's giving you advice and use other systems, it's like this whole cakes get mixed in. Because if you were calling only on 2 numbers because you have an out-of-state number, you're calling 2 numbers and you're making thousands of calls a week, you're almost guaranteed to have spam on there. Just being real with you. And so I don't think his advice is bad. I'm just trying to see where on this line something is breaking. And I don't think it's David's advice. I don't think it's deal machine at all. I mean, I don't think the list, I think you can go more niche lists. And straight up, if you just did driving for dollars, I think you do way
driving
better.
for dollars
You do way better.
and government list.
You can upload government lists in Deal Machine, by the way.
Yeah.
So last week I called. I was calling all of the code violations last week, and I really didn't get any hits as far as motivation last week.
Give me the data. Give me the data.
Huh?
Give me the data.
Okay, so last week, hold on, I'm pulling it up now. All right, so last week, which was the 7th through the 13th, I was on the dollar for 44 hours and 58 minutes. I called 3,896 people. My contact rate was 144 people. I added 14 people as leads, but wasn't any of them motivated to sell to where that I was able to get a deal or a contract. So my contact rate is 3.7 contacts, and contact rate per hour, whether they the owner or not, is 3.2 per hour, and the calls per hour I'm really doing about in between 86. It's saying 86.6, but I'm typically in between 70 and 90 calls per hour, and that's on a single line.
Bro, dude, this is crazy. You don't see the problem here.
And
That's actually insane.
And that was last
insane.
week.
This is insane. You don't see your problem this is insane. You don't see your problem at all. Okay.
Talk to me, man. I ain't on here for nothing.
Bro, you have a 3.6% contact rate. 3.6. Do you play basketball at all?
No, I don't play sports. I play this dollar.
Okay. I like basketball. If you had a 3.6 free throw percentage, you'd be thrown out. Dude, you had a 3.6%. You have a 3.6 contact rate. That is, I don't think I could even get that if I tried. Like, I don't know what I'd have to cuss people on the phone if first call. I don't know what I'd have to do. So you are 7 times off on your contact. This is your issue. This is exactly what I thought. You are using 2 phone numbers to call 3,800 people a week. This is why the reason no one's answering the phone is it's spam likely. That's what it is. You're spam likely all day long. So whatever David tells you, he might give you the best advice ever. If you are getting spam likely, no one's going to pick up that dang phone, man. 3.6. No one's picking up the phone to talk to you. It's because it's spam, 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 spam.
Gotcha. I'm listening to you. I'm working with what
Well,
I
no,
got
no,
right
no,
now.
let me be honest with you. If you called 3,800 people, you got 140 that picked up. If you had a 20% contact rate, you would have gotten 760 people to pick up. That means you could have worked the same amount and had 3 times more leads. I think you can pull a deal out of that. So what you need to do is, it's up to you what systems do you want to be using. Honestly, go crazy. If you want to stick to Mojo, you're going to have to buy probably 15 phone numbers, which is very expensive. Being straight up with you. You could use Deal Machines Dialer. That's great too. You could use the X Leads Dialer. There's plenty of dialers you could be using. But the thing about it is, if you're doing what you're doing now, you're going to get nowhere. You're at 3.6% contact rate. My advice, if you don't want to spend any more money, is I would drive for dollars and just cold call on the Deal Machine Dialer. That's what I would do, because it's $10 per number on Mojo, which is insanely brutal. And that's probably why you're not doing a bunch of phone numbers. X Leads, I think it's $1.20 per number, but honestly, let's just skip that. Just drive for dollars, man. 3.6%, you're just wasting your time. And you have great effort, man, but like you're rowing upstream.
You sometimes you got to take your data and go.
So you want to be at 15 to 20% contact rate.
We got to find a way to get you there.
Yeah, the problem is you're using 2 phone. You're 100% probably on spam likely. So you either need to switch the phone numbers out, which might be cheap.
Yeah, I'm using my personal number. So like I told you, I'm kind of working with what I got right now. So basically, I kind of just been.
You're calling. I'm gonna start crashing out, man. You're calling on your own personal cell phone 3,800 calls.
Yeah, so I got two business lines on my phone with my phone number, with my phone plan. They both business lines. So yeah, I'm using my
How much are you paying per month for that?
Huh?
Whoa, wait. Are you personally dialing it yourself, or you're connecting with Mojo?
Just connecting, I think.
Yeah, I'm connecting through Mojo, but it have you to put a number up. So then you create your call ID. So I'm using Mojo to connect through it, but for my phone, you have to use your phone, and then for the number, I'm using my number, and then I'm using the call ID to set my number, because it shows up as my real business line if I don't change the call ID. So I changed the call ID on Mojo to something generic.
Okay, I mean, either you use Deal Machines Dialer or use X Leads Dialer. I mean, what you're doing here is not working. 3.6%. Don't waste your time.
You got to look at the data, and it's up to you to decide how you want to move forward. It's not a bad strategy, but
3.6%.
I know, but like, here's the difference. Data is data. Like, the numbers don't lie. I don't think you're putting drama into this. And if you keep doing the same thing over and over, it's going to drive you insane. Like, I already tell it's eating you up, dude. You got the drive, dude. And you've already been through it. You've understood it. You've had some knockdowns, and I get it. You're trying to find your foundation, but
you have to up your quality. I don't care how many calls you're making. If no one's picking up the phone, it doesn't matter. So you need.
We're not blaming it on like Deal Machine.
Well,
we just
got
gotta
Deal
go.
Machine. It's the dialer he's using. He's getting 2 phone numbers on 3,800 calls. You're literally doing 10 hours a week of work, but you're working 40 hours to do 10 hours of work. This is insane right now.
Yeah, I'm usually on about, like I told you last week, I did 45 hours.
Congratulations, you did 11 hours of work. You wasted 33 hours of your life last week because you didn't look at your numbers and made a change. And I'm not trying to be mean to you, but like, you need to make a change, dude. You wasted 33 hours. You're going to waste another 33 hours.
You have that data. Make the adjustment now, because I don't think it's going to get better the longer you do it. You've already proven like your tenacity to do it. We're not questioning that. We just got to.
You're putting your effort towards something that's just not good right now. So you need to switch the phone numbers. I mean, you are definitely 100% spam likely. Loopy G, let me ask you a question. Who told you should buy a business phone number?
It ain't what somebody else told me. It's like shit. I got a business, so I put my phone numbers under a business program with my phone service provider. So it ain't something that somebody told me. It's something that I did on my own because I had 2 business phones. So I put they under my business account with the phone provider.
Okay, but now you're spam likely on that number, so you kind of played yourself here.
Shit, that's a part of the game, man.
It's not a part of the game. You get another number.
Yeah,
Louis G, that's part of the game.
Number. The spam likely.
I'm just
You
letting
switch it out.
know. I'm just letting you know what I did.
Bro, that is not part of the game. Taking L's is part of the game, but
no, it's a shit. I'm just telling you what I did, and it was a mistake. If it was a mistake, it was a mistake.
You get what I'm saying? We need to switch about it, man. Here's the thing about cold calling, the amount that you do, your numbers are always going to be spam likely. They're always going to. The name of the game is to switch it once it hits spam likely. And the best way to know is your contact rate should be around 15, 20%. When it jacks down to 3%, we know, okay, we got to switch the phone numbers up because you're wasting time. And I'm telling you, you can go out here and make a ton more money. You could get 4x more leads if you just change those phone numbers out. So I would use the Mojo numbers and switch them up, or use the deal machine dialer or the X-Leads dialer, whatever you want to use.
Look at the data because it's telling you the truth. Your effort's superb, dude. Like incredible. We just got to make that adjustment.
I love your attitude and I love your effort. We just got to, if you use those efforts towards non-spam numbers, you are going to get 4x results. Guarantee it.
We don't want you to double down at 3%. It just, it's like, you're not going to have enough time to sleep. Like,
you talking about doubling that time, man. I've been doing this for the past few months. It's been several months doing.
I know, but sometimes we have to take the data and go, man, something ain't working.
3.6. I've never okayed that. So we got to change the phone numbers up.
Yeah, so that was the reason why I got on here, because Rick was talking about, showing my numbers and shit. I got on here to talk to let them know what my numbers was looking like, so I can get the feedback. So
and the reason we get the numbers is
I appreciate the feedback.
We can't spin the numbers. Like you can't spin them and I can't spin them. And so like when you look at them, go, okay, if you just had an anomaly of a strange week, okay, but like this is months.
Yeah, if his contact was 15%, it'd be like, okay, something else is up, and I know exactly what's up here. So I think you should buy the Mojo phone number, use Deal Machine, whatever one you want to use, but I would not be using those phone numbers anymore. And I think you'll get a 15% response rate, and you're gonna be like, wow, I'm drowning in leads. And then we're all gonna be happy.
You get a rotation of fresh numbers. How you choose to do it,
it's up to you.
You're gonna have to kind of figure that part out, because I'm not into any of those other systems. You just got to.
I don't use any of those systems, but I could tell you is if you switch that up, you'd be good.
I think it would be at least give you a fresh week of fresh data and see if the numbers change. And you got to give it that chance. But sometimes you got to look at numbers and go, crap. And I think you're like, maybe it's just me. You're like, no, maybe I'm just not. Dude, you're working hard enough. Like that's usually the problem. You have the opposite one. You just got to look at the data. And the one thing is the data's telling you something ain't working, and we're kind of giving you feedback on what we think you should make the change. So you got to make that decision.
Gotcha.
I appreciate you sharing your numbers, because that's the only way we can help you get to the truth. If people go, I feel, or I think, or I tried, I already know where that one's going. So I appreciate you being brutally honest. And here's the really cool part, Louis G. You got to understand is I have my biggest breakthroughs in wholesaling when I struggled the worst. So it's hard to look at the silver lining when you're getting your butt kicked. But I'm just telling you, everything you do in life, either you're going to get what you want or you're going to get a lesson. So take the lesson from it, and I promise you're going to push it forward in your wholesaling. Like you've done the things to do. Don't like we're all tendencies when things aren't working, we start to just try to like feel around, try to find something. I think we're overthinking this one just a little bit. I like what you're doing. Just take the suggestions and then look at the data and measure it and see if the results change.
I mean, why don't you even use the Google? Why don't we just try the Google Voice? Actually, Mojo probably won't connect to it. So I'd get another phone number. That's what I'd do.
Or numbers.
All right, gotcha.
Can you hop on next week, use different phone numbers, and let me know what the results are next Thursday?
Yeah, we'll look out for you.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. Well, Loopy G, dude, I remember you. I know exactly what's going on. I will not forget. And my goal is you hop out and like, Zach, oh my God, I have 3 times more leads. Thank you. Or it's like, hey, I'm still at 3.6. And okay, then we'll talk about that. But I don't think the skip tracing's off. So I think you just need to change his phone numbers.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Change his phone numbers today, man. Let's change them right now and then see what we got from there.
Yeah, I got to figure that out real quick.
How much are you paying on those phone numbers, on those lines?
My plan come with my internet and stuff is about 100 and something.
For the phone numbers?
Yeah, because these numbers, I've been having these numbers for years, so it's about 100 or something, about $50 a line, and with my internet too. So yeah, I've been with the same company for some years. I've been having these numbers for a while, but once I started using Mojo, I added my personal numbers to Mojo because it was a business account, so I was under the impression that my numbers would stay good because it was a business account. You get what I'm saying? So that was
not how it
the
works.
reason.
Number's a number.
Yeah,
when
number's
they
a
look at
number.
spam.
Yeah,
So,
I live and I learn. You know what I'm saying?
there you go. What I would do just to confirm it, I would call a buddy, friend, whatever, with that number and see if it comes up spam likely. And if it does, then you know.
Yeah. So I have, and so some people says that it does, and some people says that it doesn't. So I was under the
They say
impression
it
that.
does, and it does.
So I was under the impression. Damn, I was under the impression that it's probably a carrier thing because, like I said, some people have said that it showed up as spam likely, and then other people they see what shows on the call ID as the business, the generic business name. So it's a mixture. It's a mixture between the two. So as of right now, I just couldn't afford to keep changing my number. So I was just, looking to ride it out until, I'm able to afford to have a put better, processes and systems in place to where those numbers are rotating. So, I was just working with what I had at the moment, to be honest with
I
you.
get it, man. I think drawing for dollars will give you more leads. North and West Houston, I think we did that. I think that'd even be better, but that's just my thoughts.
So, you thinking that the high equity list is not a good list to with the
Not where you're at now. That's literally on the bottom tier of quality of lists.
It's a good catch-all, but
It's the bottom tier.
I know,
I'll
but
be
if it's
straight
not
up, like,
working,
the amount of leads per 1,000 calls
Yeah.
is the lowest one out of all of them.
it is. That's why people in direct mail use it so heavily, because when you got to send out,
Especially
15,
for
20,
Harris
30,000
County.
postcards.
Ooh. And let me ask you a question. Are you doing the city of Houston or are you doing the cities around there?
So I'm doing Harris County, then the counties that's surrounding it, and it's about 4-5 counties surrounding it, from Galveston County all the way circle around it. Houston is built like a target, so it's Harris County, then all the counties that's going around it.
Well, if we're doing it like a target, let's target the good areas in Houston. Katy, Texas, like West area, absolutely amazing. And then some areas in the north. That's where the fat, nice deals are. So I would target a little better. I would drive for. Let's just drive for dollars too, and then I want you to call them on like a Google Voice or something and let me know how that works. And I think you get a lot better.
Yeah, right now I'm kind of stationed. I really is a lot I can't say on here, but that's why I was really trying to see if I can connect
That's
with.
fine. Hey.
You get what I'm saying?
If you do not have the ability to drive for dollars, no big deal. What I'd tell you to do is I would go out here then and try to do more niche data, and I'd call those leads on no spam. So Google Voice might be your answer here. Take what we say, and let's see what we can do there, all right?
All right, cool.
All right, Louis G, I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
If you can't drive for dollars, no big deal.
I know.
Let's see here. Adrian, I used to manage a call center. It's all about closing when you're doing cold calling. He ain't closing it to do having a bad pitch or wrong tone. I don't think about cold calling as closing. I think it's more about qualifying. Again, if it's virtual wholesaling, then maybe, possibly. I mean, he technically is going to be virtual. He can't use his car. But I agree with you. The wrong tone or pitch could be wrong. And that's why I make it really simple. Dollar per hour suite. I don't think it's the pitch. I mean, a 3.6. The thing is about the contact rate when they pick up the phone. If it's 5 times lower than average, I mean, that's usually the issue there. Like, I'm like a doctor. I have to go down all the symptoms.
Yeah, it's like if you send out 20,000 mailers and like only 2 people contact you, you got to go and look, hey, what list did you derive from? Where did you get it? And you listen, if you share data, like think of it like a doctor. If, hey, here's my blood pressure, here's my cholesterol, here's my weight. Almost any doctor in the entire world can assess what the issue is or how to make you better. Why do you think it's any different with me and Zach? Like, but when they go, hey, doctor, I feel kind of bloated. I just don't feel right. That's the problematic stuff. And I appreciate with Loopy sharing information because, dude, that guy's a baller when it comes to spending time on the dialer. We got to get the connection rate increased. So
there we go. And even using, if you get rid of the money you spend on the Mojo dialer, which is $150 a month, and you went to a single line, it'd be a lot cheaper too.
Yeah.
I tell you, I mean, go to wholesaling.com. But yeah, first and foremost, I'd use the systems we say, but hey, no big deal. Gabriel says, I just feel flustered. I'm using my personal cell phone number and I've been using batch, and I feel like I'm only talked to one person per 5 numbers. I don't know why everyone's not listening to what we say, but okay. So why are you using your personal cell phone? Use Google Voice. I can tell, Gabriel, I can tell you haven't been through freewholesaling.com. I would go through freewholesaling.com, the free course. I'll show you why you should never use a personal cell phone number and how you can get a phone number for free. I can guarantee it's not email blasting either. I can guarantee it.
Yeah, slide the one above.
I guarantee it. Joey says, Zach, what do I tell a probate who wants to sell before closing of the probate process? I know Rick mentioned this was possible. Can you please go over the process? So we'll go over the process. I want to say one thing real quick.
Yeah.
Do not give legal advice. Do not act like you're a lawyer. That's the first thing you should not do. There you go. You could tell them, but you just don't give legal advice.
Yeah, Joey, just listen to what your seller wants. Do it.
Yep.
He's making a request. I want to sell before the probate process is completed.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Honestly, this is the perfect one you want. Can you do it? Yes, you can do it in all 50 states. Is it easy to do? It's not like no one's going to share these secrets with you.
Yeah.
So if you go inside of freewholesaling.com in our school group, the largest of all wholesaling communities, there's a course in there that would normally cost you about $500 to $1,000. I wouldn't charge you. Other people, yeah. And it will walk you through this entire process. Go there. It's all there for you. But this is good news.
So you have a course within the course. It's called PPS, Priority Probate System.
Yeah, it sold millions and millions of dollars. I didn't get it. So everybody else got it when I was young and dumb, and I let people take it. But it goes through it. And this is the number one problem I solved in probate. And still to this day, it is my number one catchphrase. Let me show you. Are you interested in selling your property before the probate process is complete? Great. When can I meet with you? And let's show you how to do that. I'm not going to give them instructions over the phone or anything like that. I'm going to underwrite the deal, make sure they're qualified, go through the whole qualification MCTP, and then I'm going to do it. Well, Rick, I don't know how to do it. Now it's specific depending on what state and county you're in, but I will work with my title company. And then once the seller wants to do it, you enter into an agreement before you review it with the lawyer. You can still have the lawyer review it. And then you just make the simple request, hey, we want to get this deal done before the probate process is complete. A judge has to sign off onto it. It is common. Why? Mortgages, insurance, taxes, utilities, they all drain people's estates. So the court systems have already made an arrangements for it. Just as long as the buyer and seller agree to liquidate the asset, then that money goes to the estate and they stop bleeding. So do it. Listen to them and listen to the PPS 3.0 inside of freewholesaling.com, and then talk to your title company and have them give him directions to your seller to manage their running back, which is the lawyer. I know they don't like that saying, but that's it. You're the coach. Your seller is the quarterback. And the lawyer is the running back or like the fullback, or they're just so the real beauty of this is you connecting with your seller and getting an agreement and then handing it to your title company. Go, what document do I need from the probate lawyer to expedite this process? The money is then made out to the estate. Once the estate's closed out, it's done. The advantage is they don't have to deal with the property and the expenses. That's probably why they want to do this. So do it. Yes, absolutely. And talk to your title company and find out what the process is. But in the beginning, all you need is an agreement from the PR, the personal representative, or the executor. That's step number one. Do that and then go to step number two.
There we go. Telling you right now, go to freeholstein.com again. I think the course around $2 or $3 grand, maybe 5 or 10, but it's worth a lot of money.
It's extremely effective.
And so again, what's the best lead types, probates I've always found? Yes, Google Voice can show up as possible spam. I'd use Ninja Mode dialer, and then just the phone numbers are $1. That's how I do it on X Leads. But I go to X Leads, guys, get 1,000 free skips. That's what I'd personally do. That's what I use as a dialer, but I want to say what I do. So again, guys, go to free wholesaling course called freeholstein.com. And like always, guys, if you got any value from today, do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you soon. So again, this is Zach Ginn signing out.
Rick Ginn signing out.